Greetings. Hey, people. So today we're going to talk about it's is it better to be a pirate than to join the navy? So that's a quote by Steve Jobs, and what it basically means is that it's better to like join like a renegade group of people than to get into a corpo culture, right? That's basically Steve Jobs. Something Steve Jobs spoke about in his biography. Uh, you know, in his biography, like written by Walter Isaacson, where um, it was like Steve Jobs when he was making his Apple Macintosh back in 1984. That's when he was unveiling it. Like he was talking about how it's better to be in like a group of people, and Steve Jobs has a very binary way of looking at it. That either the people are cool or they're jerks. So anybody who did not come under his own uh, criteria of being a cool person, they'd be all put in the jerk corner. And anybody he thought were cool, they would come into his pirate, gang. So it's like he created like a renegade army or a renegade team of people inside his own, company. And this is what we would call a skunk works uh, group. Like you'll hear about this in this book called Exponential Organizations, where by Salim Ismail, where to create innovation, you need something out of a hierarchy, a corporate hierarchy basis. You'd see this going to be mainstream now in a lot of companies to get in line with the exponential growth that is happening, and so we are basically getting deeper and deeper into the whoops yeah the matrix. so right. So you guys saw the Matrix. It's a pretty interesting movie. One of the things about the Matrix that uh, the point of the main selling point of the Matrix is, what if this whole idea about the reality being an illusion was taken seriously, and the Wachowski brothers at the time, they are the Wachowski sisters now, they made a interesting, like the Matrix one was incredible. All right, like I still, it's still worth watching even to this day. Not so sure about sequels, but like the whole point of how in the Matrix, the protagonist Neo finds out that his world is an illusion, and he always has the inkling of a feeling that maybe he's not in the right place, and he's out to look for somebody, and he finds a mentor in Morpheus, and Morpheus is the guy who like shows him what the real world is all about. So in a lot of ways, we're going to see that happening, because right now the Matrix pulled over our eyes is the illusion of linear growth. So let me elaborate a little bit. The linear growth is that if you put one unit of effort in, you get 1 unit of return. So it's like walking 20 steps and finding that, oh, you have just walked 20 steps in that direction. The reality is where we are right now. We are in a world. Okay, again, it's like we are in a society. Like we are in a world where it's exponential growth. Like the rate of improvement of technology, and it's not just limited to technology. Like it's something that you can trace it back to biological and evolutionary scale as well. According to Ray Kurzweil, who wrote the book The Singularities Near, classic book, he talks about the law of accelerating returns, which since the evolution of life, it has been increasing in complexity from like small microorganisms to higher up and higher up. And according to Ray Kurzweil's theory, technology is basically an extension of humanity. So there is actually not much in Kurzweil's ontology. Maybe the way his language itself reflects that humanity and machines are not so distinct. Like machines are basically a part of humans, and he goes further that in the future you will stop seeing any distinction between them. It's funny because Ben Godsell, right? He's another AI researcher who has a company in Hong Kong. He is also one of those major researchers in artificial general intelligence. And according to Kurzweil, uh, artificial general intelligence is something that will mimic, I mean, which will be almost unrecognizable from a human consciousness. So it's like he believes that the AGI is gonna manifest or be created or invented, discovered, or whatever. It's going to be happening in the year 2030. So, oh, it's not so far away, guys. 8 more years to go. Right. According to Goetzel, in one of his interviews, he was talking about how, like, it's possible that robots or AI, artificial general intelligence, will have the capabilities not only to get deeper into consciousness, able to exude consciousness, but in a more radical way, they would be able to access telepathy as well. So I will, give it under your discretion to, like, okay, figure out, whoa, like, what would telepathy mean? Like, it could probably be in a materialistic way, or it could be even beyond. Okay, like, I would, subsequent videos, I'll elaborate more on this. Now, Dalai Lama also, in one of his interviews, like, he was, asked about his opinions about AI, and he, like, probably in a very half joking way, he said, "Hey, like, the computer scientist who creates the AI, like, what if he finds out that after his death he has been reborn into the body of a robot, like, you will have, uh, I mean, whatever it is, like human egos or whatever, like the consciousness coming through, exuding from a robot." Well, a lot of, half-baked ideas, which I will elaborate later further on. So this is, like, probably going to be the emblem of our, okay, this is like a possible concept, which I designed for, the you know going back to the pirates. Better to join, better to be a pirate than to join the navy, story. So, uh, yeah, this skull and crossbones thing is actually a very old symbol, used by the Cilician pirates, back in ancient times. And the crossbones, right? That symbol, actually, is the prime meridian, cutting across equator, or some such. It's a navigation symbol. However, the skull is supposed to signify the Greek god of time, which is Kronos, or in Persian, it's Zorban, who is the, lord of time. So back in the day, in the Greek times, yeah, the people used to believe a lot, that lot in fate. Like, they believed that they didn't have any free will, and all their thoughts, were basically the gods, like, manipulating them to do something. So, the Cilician pirates flag is supposed to symbolize that, we can go beyond our, what do you call it, uh, we could go beyond our, fate, or, whatever the gods decreed upon us, and we can, like, going beyond fate, and, carve our own path. And that's why I chose, and the guy with the astronaut helmet is, just, that we are explorers, or, uh, explorers of new horizons, something of that sort, because that's what entrepreneurship and being an artist is all about. Like, you go and go forth and explore new horizons, right? And the yellow background is to signify the sun, because, hey, like, I got super inspired by checking out the joint European uh, Tacomac. Yeah, that's the nuclear fusion, thermonuclear fusion reactor, they, showed in France this year, where they were able to sustain, like, a nuclear fusion reaction for 5 seconds or something, which makes it, shows that in the future, like, not even may not be that far. Okay, like, we might even be halfway there, that we'll have, abundant of energy because of nuclear fusion. And it will be like creating a mini sun in the surface of the earth, like the power of the sun in the palm of my hand, sort of thing, you see and saw in Spider-Man 2. So the whole point of this is that, we are getting into a certain kind of, like, era, or we live in a society, or whatever you want to call it, which is gonna be a lot more democratized. All right, like, we are gonna see something akin to the Renaissance period, like a neo feudalism or neo medieval sort of age. There's this economist called, Adam McFate, Sean McFate. Okay, either Adam or Sean McFate. Like, look it up. He wrote this book called the Modern Mercenary, and another one called The New Rules of War, where he spoke about, like, how, like, the as technology is getting improved, like, getting even more, what I'm talking about, right? It's like improving in complexity. we're going to see like the nation states might break away, and we might see an open border system, like how in Renaissance Italy you had Milan, you had like Venice and Florence being their own city states, and it was actually run by bankers and stuff, like probably it sounds very scary, like almost like a cyberpunk dystopia, but hey, like whatever it is, during that time there was a huge explosion of art. Okay, like the Renaissance is celebrated as having like an explosion, like a Cambrian explosion, like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, like all those the Ninja Turtles. I mean, I'm just kidding. Like all the artists came forth and displayed their talent. So this is it, guys. Like this is the moment for a lot of artists to like come in and collaborate together and create like things like artifacts which will be celebrated for a long time. And I believe this is the time, because most of the things are getting digitized now. So there is something called the 6 degrees of like exponential growth. Okay, and it is like it starts with digitization. So once people have started digitizing themselves and coming into Zoom and coming into like YouTube and whatnot, they're digitizing their creativity as well, and this would lead into a deception era. The deception era is that like okay, the digitization came, but there's not much happening, right? Like that's the deception. Like it's just fooling you. There is actually something deeper going on, and suddenly it is like a disruption, like everything which you're talking about, right? Like there is music, there is art, there is photography with Instagram, there is writing, video games, which are like a holistic integrated entertainment package, like basically everything. Like you have cinematography, photography, the lighting, sound design, music design, all of it coming together, like converged into one thing, right? And when it disrupts, like all the legacy media, right, they are gonna get like disappear, like how the meteor like uh, you know um took away all the dinosaurs. So it's like adapt or basically die. And once it goes from a disruptive phase, becomes dematerialized. And now with the metaverse coming in, like a lot of guys think it's a fad, or it's like a passing thing, like because you're basically like putting TV like boxes in your in your heads, and exploring the metaverse. But consider that like once those things become seamless as if they were glasses and they were not much of an impediment, most of the things are going to get dematerialized. By that I mean like furniture, like architecture, like most of design is going to be dematerialized into the metaverse, and further it becomes uh, demonetized. So what would it mean for things to be demonetized is that they will start losing monetary value because it is of such abundant quantities. Like we like so okay, most of the developed or developing worlds, whatever you want to call it, they're suffering from uh, not of problems of scarcity, but problems of abundance, with like obesity and attention spans going on, because there's so much content out there. And and the further you keep going, it is finally going to be democratized. And what would that mean is like entities and free agents would have their own say in the matter. And it'll be like not like have like some guy in the top like giving away orders, like how modern studios are, like WB, Disney, and all those studios are giving like orders from the top down, and they're doing a top down thing. Like imagine what it would be for a movie to be made from the bottom up, right? You will have the writer, the script writer coming in, the sound designer coming in, and hey, like I have a interesting tune here. I feel that this could be for some kind of a movie. Like, what do you think? Like, I have read your work; it could be interesting. And the scriptwriter like listens to the music, and he's like, hey, like this kind of gives me an idea. Like, this could be like the music for one of the movies I wrote. It could be for a thriller. And then you go like they meet a director, and they all come together. And the tools for making this movie, right? We're using deep fake and deep fake technology, and basically you can like take the likeness of a character, pay him the royalty fees for using his likeness, or probably an artist creates like a version of a human being, and he has you know um, copyrighted and whatever. So you will have like a like an explosion of content coming in, and this is what the future could be. And like the we're going to be living in like probably the golden age of like mm, you know art and media, and I think it's going to be a delightful